December 1952. London awoke to a sight both eerie and alarming. A thick, yellowish-grey blanket had descended upon the city, plunging it into an almost impenetrable gloom. This was no ordinary fog. This was the Great Smog, an event that would etch itself into London's history and shape the future of environmental consciousness. Visibility plummeted to mere feet. Street lamps struggled to pierce the murky shroud, and even familiar landmarks vanished from sight. The air hung heavy, thick with acrid smoke and the stench of sulphur. It stung the eyes, scratched at the throat, and left a metallic tang on the tongue. London, usually abuzz with activity, fell silent, its bustling streets transformed into an unsettling labyrinth of muffled sounds and ghostly figures. The city, once a symbol of empire and progress, was now held captive by a suffocating blanket of its own making. This was a London transformed, a stark warning from nature that progress without consideration for the environment could have dire consequences. The Great Smog was not merely a meteorological event, it was a societal wake-up call, a stark reminder of the delicate balance between human activity and the natural world. And as the smog tightened its grip on the city, it began to reveal the true cost of London's industrial ambitions. The air, normally a source of life, had become a threat, choking the city and its inhabitants and casting a long, dark shadow over their lives. To understand the Great Smog, we must journey back to the decades leading up to that fateful December. Post-war Britain, eager to rebuild and re-establish itself, turned to its industries. Factories sprouted, churning out goods and prosperity, but also a steady stream of smoke, soot, and pollutants. Coal, the lifeblood of this industrial resurgence, was burned in vast quantities, its byproducts spewed into the atmosphere with little regard for the consequences. This unchecked industrial activity, combined with the exhaust from thousands of vehicles and the smoke from countless domestic coal fires, created a toxic cocktail of pollutants. Sulfur dioxide, released from coal burning, played a particularly sinister role. This pungent gas, when mixed with the moisture in the air, formed tiny droplets of sulfuric acid, effectively turning the fog into a diluted acid bath that hung over the city. But the stage for disaster was truly set by a meteorological phenomenon known as a temperature inversion. Normally, air temperature decreases with altitude, allowing pollutants to disperse. However, during the Great Smog, a layer of warm air settled over the cold air trapped beneath it, creating a lid that prevented the smog from escaping. This trapped the deadly mixture over London, its concentration building day by day, turning the air into a lethal fog. The Great Smog was not simply a natural disaster, it was a disaster born from human actions, a potent symbol of the unintended consequences of unchecked industrial growth. It laid bare the hidden costs of progress and served as a stark reminder that the quest for advancement must be balanced with a responsibility towards the environment we all share. As the smog tightened its grip, Londoners began to experience its devastating effects firsthand. The air, thick with irritants, wreaked havoc on their respiratory systems. Coughing fits became commonplace, a rasping chorus echoing through the streets. Throats burned, chests tightened, and even the simplest act of breathing became a labored struggle. Hospitals overflowed with patients gasping for breath, their lungs struggling to cope with the noxious air. The elderly and those with pre-existing respiratory conditions were hit particularly hard, their weakened bodies ill-equipped to withstand the assault. The death toll mounted with terrifying speed, a grim testament to the smog's deadly embrace. But the smog's impact went beyond immediate physical suffering. It cast a long shadow of fear and anxiety over London. People ventured outside only when absolutely necessary, their faces covered with makeshift masks in a desperate attempt to filter the air. The young and the old, confined to their homes, could only wait and hope for the smog to lift. The Great Smog was a stark reminder of the vulnerability of human health in the face of environmental degradation. It highlighted the interconnectedness of our well-being with the health of our planet, driving home the message that clean air is not a luxury, but a fundamental human right. The Great Smog brought London to a standstill. Transportation ground to a halt as visibility dropped to almost nothing. Buses and cars sat idle, their drivers unable to navigate the treacherous conditions. Trains, their tracks obscured by the thick fog, were delayed or cancelled. severing vital lifelines in and out of the city. Outdoor events were cancelled, businesses shuttered their doors, and schools closed, their playgrounds eerily silent. The city that never slept had been lulled into an uneasy slumber, its streets deserted save for the occasional figure navigating by memory or the sound of their own footsteps. Even within the supposed safety of their homes, Londoners were not immune to the smog's pervasive reach. It seeped through cracks and crevices, infiltrating living rooms and bedrooms, turning sanctuaries into suffocating traps. The air inside grew thick and heavy, forcing families to huddle together, their faces illuminated by the flickering glow of candles, their conversations punctuated by coughs and wheezes. The Great Smog was a period of unprecedented disruption, a stark reminder of how quickly the rhythms of daily life can be upended by environmental catastrophe. It exposed the fragility of the systems we rely upon and underscored the importance of preparedness and resilience in the face of unforeseen challenges.